Finally, I come to the issue of the implementation scale of RED. What I mean here is at what scale would RED activities be implemented, accounted for, and credited? Normally in the debates, we are talking about two main levels, a national level and a subnational, or sometimes project level. National level would be a country that would be able and willing to reduce deforestation and account for them nationally, taking a national approach to accounting and crediting. So government would be in charge of the transactions and finding ways of getting the money down to the levels where they would make a difference in reducing deforestation and degradation. Or, and we are seeing this in many places, countries could allow projects to blossom. I mean, projects that are managed and initiated and implemented by different entities, government entities, decentralized government entities, private sector, civil society, NGOs. And these are RED activities that seek to reduce deforestation in a specific geographic area, and so very clear boundaries. And they account for the emission reductions in that area, and they are allowed to transact emission reductions. And then we could have what many have been talking about, a hybrid approach, where you have national system to account for emissions in general, emission reductions in a country, but you still would allow projects to happen. In that case, I mean, there are many questions of how to reconcile the different levels, how to reconcile different reference levels, for instance. I mean, a reference level of a project to the reference level of a national. So you could have a project happen in an area of high deforestation rates, higher than the national average, for instance. So what reference level should that specific project use? So these are issues that countries will need to work through as they move forward. I present quickly here just a graph showing the different approaches. You can review this material at your own pace, but here you have a national scheme where transactions are dealt with by through a national government directly, or you could have a project approach where projects are allowed to transact directly, a simple project approach, or you could try to have a hybrid approach to the issue of implementing. We offer here some key questions for pilot projects. I mean, it's clear that pilot projects can contribute to the readiness process by generating knowledge, by sharing lessons with the government, by addressing some specific issues, by coming up with ways to tackle deforestation that are locally appropriate, by addressing some legal institutional issues on how to share benefits, for instance, or how to make an impact on the livelihood of communities through RED activities. And these information could then be tapped into at the national level for a national scheme. Moreover, pilot projects are simpler to be carried out, and they may form a step towards a national scheme in the long run. But also, of course, there are important points to keep in mind regarding pilot projects, and I mentioned some already, but how they fit into a national accounting of greenhouse gases, how you reconcile different monitoring requirements and monitoring methodologies used by different projects. So these are important issues that the country need to put in place. Also, how a country would track these different projects happening in its boundaries. I mean, whether a registry would be necessary and how much all this would cost. So again, just quickly, these are the main issues that we expect are addressed in the RPP in this section of RED implementation framework. They are, again, this is an area where we still have a lot to learn. It's very new how we deal with the framework, with the infrastructure, if you will, of setting up a RED mechanism in the country. So, again, I offer some examples from regulations that Indonesia has approved regarding RED pilot projects for you to review when you get a chance. So I thank you very much for your attention. I hope we can continue discussing this very exciting topic of implementation framework of RED in the coming months. And if you have additional questions, please do not hesitate to contact me or any team of the FCPF team. Thank you again, and see you next time. Bye-bye.